guess first question for you. I know you're obviously running once again for um, election and whatnot. Kind of tell me what was your reasoning? Why do you want to seek out another term?
Well, as most folks know, I've been doing this for a long time and serving the city of Portage in some way since 1981 on either a board or commission or the council. I thought about stepping down, but I didn't see any candidates that I could support to replace me, and so I decided to run again. There's a couple of initiatives that we're having to that we're in the middle of working on that I want to see through. One is a rewrite of part of the Code of Ordinances, major rewrite. We've done it piecemeal over the years, and it's time to try and do a large section of it in a unified way. We also have an issue with the DPW site, Department of Public Works site. It's we have equipment that's stored outside. We don't have room for all of the employees. And when the project was brought to the city council for the second time to talk about funding, the cost had skyrocketed to a point where the council, myself and others, have said, well, we've got to figure out something else, to do. So those are two projects that I want to continue on. And I enjoy serving the citizens of Portage. It's been part of my entire adult life, and decided that I'd continue.
Yeah,
if chosen.
Oh, sorry. My
That's all right.
apologies. And I guess too, along those lines, what are some of the big issues that you see kind of facing Portage?
Well, I just spoke about a couple of them. Housing, of course, is an issue nationwide, statewide, countywide, in the city of Portage. We've taken a first step in helping, a couple of steps in helping to address that. One is using the Community Land Trust system and our development that we're doing called Stanwood, just off Portage Road, where the homes will be affordable for families making 80 to 120% of the area median income. That's roughly 64,000 to 120,000, depending on the size of the family. And those homes will continue to be sold at that price, depending on how the income changes, essentially in perpetuity through the contract that the buyers sign and the mechanism of the Community Land Trust. We are also working on changing some of the mixed use ordinances, adding mixed use where developments can have stores in the first floor, apartments above. It makes it much more financially viable to do a development. We've had 3, 4, 5 different housing developments of different types, either fully canceled or altered or delayed over the last several years. Apartment complexes were approved for building that were simply canceled because the finances didn't work anymore. We've had some delayed. We've had River Caddis near City Hall having to change from a market rate apartment complex to a subsidized rent apartment complex, just so that they could tap into other funds that were available to do the development. We've had single family condo developments have to come back to us for more homes. So part of the code rewrite is to try and help with that. And once we see how the Stanwood project works with the Community Land Trust model, that can be expanded to other properties. It doesn't have to be that one. Now, the city of Portage should not be in the business of developing neighborhoods and housing developments, but we have the ability to tap into grants and other funding from other sources, including the county housing millage that we all pass. Portage sends about $1.7 million in tax revenue to the county. And our Stanwood project was an effort to recover some of those dollars back into the city of Portage. So it's funded in a substantial part by those funds.
Gotcha. And obviously, there are several issues and whatnot. I know one of them recently has been, the conversation over trash haulers and whatnot. I know last weekend there was essentially a town hall meeting with candidates basically saying Portage needs new leadership. I guess I just want to get your response. What would you say to, the folks who organized that, and what's kind of your thoughts on it?
For the trash hauler issue specifically, this is not something that's come up overnight. This is something that's councils have been talking about for the last 15 years. It finally came to the point where became a priority for the council. We first tried to correct some of the inequities of the pricing structures by asking the haulers to report their price structure to the city so we can publish it on the website. That really didn't solve any of the issues. And so we enacted an ordinance to allow the city to do a single hauler contract. That was a year and a half ago about. There was very little comment about it then. There was very little comment about it until one of the waste haulers lost the bid. They were 22% higher than the lowest bid. There's not much we can do about that. Their yard waste rate was double the lowest bid. The city council has the responsibility to try to make the best decisions for the entire city. 98% of the citizens of Portage will see a decrease in the cost of their waste disposal. And what really prompted me to support it, which I didn't necessarily years ago, was the fact that 5 neighbors in a row could be paying 5 different rates for the same service. Unless you played the game of calling and negotiating and complaining about the price every year, they would charge what you were willing to pay and not complain about. I'm not one that liked to play those games. My monthly household waste cost was $110 a month. It's one of the highest in the city as we did our survey. I changed companies. It became $67 a month, $22 a month. Under this bid that we went out and negotiated for the entire city, it'll be about $14 a month. So those citizens who are unable, elderly, busy, don't choose to try and negotiate for what looks like a utility, and you would think would have similar costs across companies, really have been treated unfairly. And this is going to make the cost equitable for everybody. There's a couple of HOA neighborhoods that have negotiated a lower rate than we were able to get. We're still not quite sure whether those contracts will be honored or we can allow them to be honored or not. But for 98% of the city, it will be a decrease of anywhere from 20 to 80% of their cost for household waste. I'm only speaking about household waste costs at the moment. In terms of leadership, often a few people who are upset about something or have a different opinion on something will come to council and voice that opinion, and it's great. And when we don't choose to do what they would like us to do, very small minority of the citizens, they accuse us of not listening. It's not that we're not listening. It's that we listen, but we may not agree. And one of the things to understand is that we have the experts of our city administration, which we've hired to give us information. We have information from other groups, from Southwest Michigan First, from state agencies and things. And oftentimes we have information that other folks don't have. And of course, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to what they believe is right. My goal has always been to make what I thought was the best decision for the entire city of Portage. I've never made a vote based on political expediency or trying to get somebody to vote for me at the next election. I do what I think is appropriate and best for the city of Portage, and leave it at that. That's my whole goal.
Final question I have for you: if someone's watching this and perhaps they're still undecided, why should you get their vote?
This is a job that requires a mix of folks on the council, And one of the things that I bring is experience, a long-term involvement with the city of Portage. I've either been on the park board, the zoning board of appeals, or the city council for 45 years. New blood is great, but having that institutional knowledge, and right now I've probably been around city council longer than anyone in administration has. And so there are things that we've done in the past that people don't know about. And I bring that experience that matters, that I can help guide new council members and our existing council and our newer city manager and other employees into, these are the problems we're going to see if we take this position. Not that we shouldn't, but planning for what we can do and having that experience of how things work and function in the past and bring it to the future.
All right, Councilmember Urban, I really do appreciate your time. Anything else you want to add? Anything I might have missed?
No, Tuesday's election day. Come out and vote. We've got some important other millage requests on the ballot, not for the city of Portage. And I look forward to seeing the results on Tuesday night.